6. Oh, 6 is like a dirty one. 6. Yeah, 'cause 6 has 2 little bumps.
6.
You see?
6 looks like a little water boatman. You ever seen a water boatman?
A water boatman. Are they the people that stand up in Venice and like push the boats around?
Nah. That's gondolier and gondoliers. No, water boatmen they're little insects, and they're so light, and they have really wide legs, and they float on the water, and they go wah, 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 and they like paddle through the water with their little thin legs.
They look like cute little bugs. So there's the RSPB. I'm very confused. They have a picture of lesser water boatmen, but Wilkie, is the RSPB not the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds? Because a water boatman isn't a bird as far as I can tell. It's an insect. It even calls it out on the thing. Has it secretly been the Royal Society for the Protection of Boatmen this whole time?
Or for the protection of bugs.
Bugs. Oh, bugs would work way better. Males attract females with a courtship song, which they produce by rubbing their front legs against the ridge on their head. I mean, that's impressive. They can bring their leg up away to the... Oh, wait, the front legs. Okay, to their head. I was going to say, it would be impressive if humans could do that by bringing their legs to their heads.
I mean, famously, a large group of people can do that. Just like most people who've done dance or like gymnastics can... Like,
but then if they did it, it made a cool sound, like a violin.
Oh, if it made a sound, then that's a bit less likely.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, to the show we like to do here on the weekends, as you call it, Wednesday. It's, of course, Boy Review, hosted by me, Hamish.
Oh, spirits, tell me, why have you visited me this night? It's Michael Caine, again, but this time he's from the Muppet Christmas Carol.
Wilkie?
Yeah?
That's very good. I like it. Because Muppet's Christmas Carol, best version of that.
Oh,
I'm going to say film.
Yeah, book, story.
Book, film, tale.
God. It's classic. There has never been a better Bob Cratchit than fucking Kermit the Frog. No one does it better than Kermit the Frog. At least that's what Miss Piggy says. Well, okay.
Did you know that is the first? I think that's the. I think Muppets Christmas Carol was the first, not Jim Henson directed or run.
It was his
Muppets
son.
Movie.
Yes.
Yeah. I think they wanted it to be extra good to prove that the Muppets didn't die with Jim Henson.
Yeah, it included a little bit at the start that was like in loving memory of Jim Henson, and it was like a to be honest, I cannot remember his son's name. Jim Henson son. Brian Henson. It's
Brian
like
Henson.
a Brian Henson production. But yes.
Well, Wilkie, it's really funny that you talk about A Christmas Carol, because here I'll have we're a podcast medium, audio only, so no one at home will be able to see it. But I can show it to you, and I'll put it on Instagram. You're have
really
my
enjoying
Christmas
your
Carol
visual only content, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
The Hoover last week.
I think that worked quite well. I've got a Lego A Christmas Carol set. Looks very cool. It's kind of like a vignette. You can see it's the Pratchett's or the Cratchits? Cratchits. I was trying to remember what the guy's name was.
Bob Cratchit
but you can
Tiny
see
Tim.
Bob Cratchit and Tiny Tim inside their house, and from the outside, Scrooge wearing a top hat and a black business attire, staring through the window with their very small itty bitty Christmas tree.
Now, Hamish, I have a question about that. Because your camera's a little small on my screen. Obviously the thing was a little far away. What block do they use? Because Lego like to sort of they don't have a wide array of blocks, but they make them work, right? The point is you can do anything. What block do they use to represent Tiny Tim's failing consumptive lungs?
They don't. They just have.
They didn't. They didn't put his consumption in. That's sad.
They give him a scarf. They give him little legs.
I guess that's that then. Oh, he's got the little legs.
He does have two faces. He has one where he's smiling, but I currently got him set as the one where he's sad and he's got some dirt on his face.
The one where he's dying of consumption.
That's how they represent it, Wilkie. They represent it with his face.
His little sad face.
But it's really cool. It's a really awesome little vignette. I got it from the Lego store. I also got this very cool blue brick that's just a big Lego brick.
It's a massive brick. I saw that and I was like, is that the ghost of Christmas future? Christmas yet to come? No, it's a big Lego brick.
No.
Because
it's a big Lego brick.
You sent them in one picture and I was like, is that the same? Is that one kit? Is the ghost of Lego yet to come just a big ghostly blue Lego brick?
It's not. They both came as separate pieces because the Lego store was basically doing, if you spent a certain amount on Lego, they will send you a Christmas Carol, and then if you spend a bit more, they'll send you the Lego brick. Or they were doing it a couple of weekends ago. And I got a couple of Lego pieces, or a couple of Lego sets. One of them's yet to come, but the other is an awesome little Sesame Street, 1-2-3 Sesame Street thing, which I found particularly funny because it's 18 plus. And I'm going to explain why.
Elmo's got his tits out.
Well, I sent a picture to our group chat because I've also got a little Lego John Wick. As I had a picture of, it looked like John Wick and Elmo had murdered Big Bird.
Oh, that's funny. That's good content. This episode of Boy Review is definitely 18 plus. If you're too young to hear me say the word tits, then leave.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone else. But I want to talk about Lego because it is such an awesome toy. I've always been a massive fan of Lego since I was much younger.
Hold on.
My parents.
What episode is this?
Oh, you go first normally, don't you, Wilkie?
Yeah, this isn't you, scoundrel. This is an even numbered week.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm
sorry. You're right.
To be fair, I did tee you up perfectly to talk about Lego.
That's why I went for it, Wilkie.
I'm sorry.
Fine, I will tell you about why I like Lego in a minute. Fine, Wilkie. We'll just put a pin in the conversation.
No, let's break from tradition. Ebenezer Scrooge had the tradition of being a bastard at Christmas, and he broke it. The ghost of Boy Reviews yet to come says, why bother doing it in a certain order? But
Lego's just such this quintessential toy. You know, I've always enjoyed getting to build up the different sets I've been given. You know. And there's been such a wide array. You know, they've had a long team up with Star Wars. So I've got a bunch of Lego Star Wars sets at home. I've got one set that was really cool. So you can get like a Darth Maul spaceship. So you can fly around and get the scary two-bladed lightsaber man going.
Oh, big fan of that. I think I had that.
Yeah, I think it was quite popular.
Star Wars Lego, yeah.
I got a few years ago. I got a pod racer set, so I got Anakin and Sebulba's pod racers.
Ugh. Not a fan of Sebulba.
It's really cool. Sebulba looks weird because he stands on his arms and then he has his feet as his hands. He's
weird
cool.
dog man.
But it's just, you know, I don't know why I like Lego so much, but I just have always enjoyed playing with it. You know, I'm one of those people that does build the sets and then we'll play around them, but I also do build my own things from time to time. You know, I used to love sort of telling stories with my Lego pieces. I'd take bits from one and put them on another. I used to play with them so much, Wilkie, that you know, the hands sort of, the arms, you know, go up and down and the hands rolled side to side, and there's a bit of stickiness to it. You know, it's stiff. I used to play with them so much that I would lift an arm up and it would just fall straight back down, and the hands just couldn't hold anything, so I'd have to one thing I actually did loads was if there was a particular character I liked, I would, or a piece I would like a body piece I would pop the arms off from other bodies that I liked and put them onto the one that I did like, so then the arms worked and were stiff again and the hands worked and were good again.
That's horrendous.
I just always enjoyed playing with it, and I still to this day, you know, I made a joke about how the Sesame Street set is 18 plus, and that's not a joke. It is actually down as 18 plus because Lego don't rate their sets on what the subject is. They rate it on how complex it is. So that's why sometimes sets have an upper age limit, because so some sets are just 8+, like the Christmas Carol one, whereas others are might be like 6 to 10, because once you hit 10, this is going to be way too easy for you. Like, you're not going to enjoy making this set. It's not going to hold your attention. Whereas it's trivial. Whereas the Sesame Street set, I think, is got like 1,400 pieces. So it's I spent about 2 hours on it last night, and I've only got through about 1/6 of the set.
What? That's huge.
Yeah, it's really big. So it's a whole 1, 2, 3 Sesame Street house, because it's also part of like a Lego Ideas thing. So fans sort of had a hand in designing it. And what's awesome about these fan ones is they put little secrets and hints into them that you wouldn't really recognize unless you were also a fan of Sesame Street or a fan of whatever it is. I had a Doctor Who one I got a couple of Christmases ago. That's awesome. It's really cool how it all works, and it allows you to have the TARDIS all closed up and then open again, and you can have bigger and smaller on the inside. And I don't know why Lego just has always attracted so much love from me, but it really does. And yeah, I know there are problems with Lego. I know it's made of plastic, and long term we can't really be using too much plastic in our society.
Perhaps the most reusable plastic, though. You never throw Lego away. I can't imagine anyone throwing Lego away, even if you don't want it anymore. Like, you must know everyone knows a child. Just give them the Lego.
Right. Exactly. So that is sort of one of the benefits of Lego being made out of plastic, is that it will last forever. Because that's one of the things we learned about when I did my degrees was, when people talk about getting rid of plastic, you actually don't necessarily need to get rid of all plastic. You need to get rid of really single-use plastic. There are loads of things in society where actually it being made out of plastic is really helpful, because it will last for ages, because plastic doesn't degrade. That's why it's really bad when you go and throw it away. But if you actually need something that will last for a good few hundred years, well, maybe not a few hundred years, but a good few decades, plastic's what you want. And Lego is exactly that. Even if these pieces that I have will, even if they get a bit worn down, they will still be playable, probably by my kids and maybe even their kids in a few years' time. Not a few years' time. Hope I don't have grandchildren in just a few years. That would be insane.
It would, yeah, you're right.
I'd have to adopt people that would be pretty much adults anyway.
Yeah. So Lego is fun, Hamish. We know this. You've got your cool new sets. But part of at least one of the things I most enjoyed about my Lego sets was taking them apart and making my own things out of them, which is why it was so difficult to go through, and I had to rebuild a bunch of my old Lego sets so I could sell them recently, because I don't play with them anymore and I might as well sell them. So what creation did you make out of other Lego sets that you are most proud of?
The thing I often built that was separate was... Actually, if I had a set, I normally liked keeping the pieces as part of the set, just because I always really liked how that looked. But you're talking about, getting Lego from other people. I once got given a massive just tub of Lego from some neighbours where their kids had completely moved out, didn't want Lego anymore. So I got this big thing, and I remember it had bits for like castles. It had these really awesome bases that looked like it was an island that you could then build out from the top of. So I always loved building buildings and castles on these platforms that then my Lego characters could explore. So that was always my favourite thing to do, because there were always so many little bits, because you can just use a wall here and a rock face there. That was really awesome.
I had a bunch of like Lego, like really old Lego that used to be my mum's when she was like a child. Yeah. And I had this huge this huge like square base, like a couple of feet on each side. And I'd put that down, and I had for a very long time a big old like space station, not space station, like a space launching ground. I had a couple of spaceships, and I built little frameworks that would sit them up so they could take off. And then it was cool. It was a big like fuel silo that I think I made out of I had the like legacy edition space shuttle, the really big one.
Okay.
I took the orange fuel tank off that and like used it as a big fuel silo for my spaceport.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. Even if I had a set or something that was for one thing, it was easy just to turn it into other things. I really like video games, and there are games like Legend of Zelda and Kingdom Hearts, which I really love. There are no there are no Lego sets for those things. Now there are some Lego sets for some video games. I think there have been Portal Lego, there's some Overwatch Lego and stuff like that, but we're still waiting on others. And it was really fun to just take the characters and be like, well, this guy's green. I think one of the in the big box I got from a neighbor it had a Robin Hood-esque character. I was like, well, this guy's going to be Link now. And I actually took one of the silver swords, painted the end of it purple with some purple paint, and it became the Master Sword. And I was able to play like Legend of Zelda with all my Lego, go on adventures, make these temples. You'd get helped out by people like Indiana Jones and all of that. Because the other thing, like I think Lego's done a good job of keeping, doing its own Lego sets, doing its own thing, but then also attaching itself to really choice brands. Indiana Jones and Star Wars were some of the earlier ones with Lucasfilm. They now do loads with like Marvel and DC. You can have all of those. I've seen like Stranger Things sets, particularly getting into older people things like Overwatch as well. Not necessarily aimed at a child audience. But they still do appease these older audiences. You get the massive Millennium Falcon that was like £600, and that's obviously designed only for an adult to build. I don't think many parents would get their kid that. Also because a kid would probably take days to make it.
Yeah.
But and I think that's really fun how it's gone from just being one of these simple toys to being, it can be an art. It can be like an art or like a puzzle, which you then get to keep and hang up and show off this cool display that you have, and you can marvel at it.
Marvel.
You
can DC at it.
You can DC at it.
I'm going to go...
DC Comics.
I'm going to go Detective Comics, that piece of Lego.
It's going to go dark and scary.
What do we for, Master Scrooge? So we can learn the meaning of Christmas. I really hope that stayed in, otherwise that's going to make no sense. I'm
sure it did. So, Wilkie, this is being a nice, calm episode of Boy Review. And I want to, I really like Lego. I want to give Lego a good because I think it fulfills just such a perfect thing in society of being, a fun toy for adults and children. Really just anybody of any age. You can get, I feel like you could get them a Lego set and they would be able to enjoy it. And so coming up to Christmas, if you're thinking of getting anyone a present, maybe get them some Lego.
Just a little Lego set, because big. A little Christmas Carol scene.
Yeah, whatever you can find. So Wilkie, what is your topic this week that I so rudely stole?
This week I would like to talk about. You mentioned The Mandalorian there. You can watch The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, a streaming service from Disney. I'd like to talk about Disney original movies. I've watched a decent quantity of Disney original movies recently, and I have some thoughts about a few of them. We're going to start with a film called Zombies.
You talked about this last week. You said that you were going to watch it.
Yeah. As promised, I watched Zombies. Let me give you, first of all, the description that they give on Disney Plus. Okay, this is the pitch that Disney Plus gives you.
Verbatim.
Now that the government has created a device that stops zombies from craving brains, Seabrook High, a school focused on uniformity, traditions, and pep rallies, faces student integration with the Zombie Town kids. As the human and zombie students struggle to coexist, budding friendship between cheerleader Addison and zombie Zed could unite their high school and community for good. So it's the least thinly veiled allegory for most kinds of discrimination ever.
Yes.
Most obviously...
you are correct.
Yeah, most obviously...
Racism.
There is a wall down the middle of the town. It's such a picture of like gentrification. Like half the town is like all pastel colours, all like ice cream bars and froyo carts and all this like bougie stuff. And Zombie Town, everything's made of like corrugated iron and rusty oil drums and covered in fairy lights, but like in a way that doesn't look posh. It's honestly, it's a film that has a very good idea of what its aesthetic is, and it does stick to it, and it's ever so slightly compelling. So yeah, the plot is there's this power plant in Seabrook, and someone spills lime soda on one of the control panels, and the power plant blows up. And the half of the town that was closest to the power plant gets turned into zombies. They're not the living dead,
Okay.
but they do crave brains.
Okay.
This thing called the Z-Band. First of all, okay, hang on. There's lots of, like, address to camera by Zed and Addison. These two can see the camera, and they look at you and they talk to you. Hamish, you put your hand up. Yes, have a question.
Yeah, I have a question, because you've used Z-Band, and you've called the character Zed. Is his name Z-E-D, or is it a single Z, so it would be a Z?
His name is Z-E-D. Every zombie's name starts with or includes a Z. So Zed has a little sister called Zoe. He has a best friend called Eliza. They have a friend called Bonzo. Bonzo is incredible. Bonzo is 6'9". He's huge, and Bonzo chooses to speak zombie. So the zombies have their own language, and Bonzo chooses to only speak zombie. And so you've got this massive guy going like Zuba Wangaho, and then like Zed's like, yeah man, I know it sucks, right? He looks at the camera like, what?
Okay, wait. Is zombie not also? Is it Zuba Wangado or whatever you just said?
It sounds like Simlish, but with more Zeds. If you take Simlish and just fit a Z into every word, that's like traditional zombie language.
Okay, and then I still have so many. Wilkie,
There's so much to unpack. I have 4 films to talk about.
Second. Is it by chance that this half of the town also had their names as Zeds, or did they change to zombie names?
This is we are 2 generations deep in zombies. It's now a
so the zombies can have kids.
It's a cultural. Yes, zombies can have kids.
With other zombies, or can they have kids with people?
Who knows? We never find out. Zed has a zombie dad. I don't think we ever see his zombie mum, but we assume his mum is around somewhere and a zombie. Zombies all have pale faces. Even the zombies who are played by actors of color, which is slightly sus, but like it's not like they're not all whited out. That you can tell there is a difference in skin tone, but they've all got like talcum powder on their faces.
Yeah, I guess I think people like do start to look a bit more pale and stuff once you've died. So I guess it makes sense.
It has clearly it's clearly been done equally to all the actors. It was just more noticeable when it's like, oh, that. They've sort of made that girl's skin paler, but it was everyone because they're all zombies.
It's to play into the probably slightly dead aesthetic.
Yeah, they also all have green hair.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, so they're all kind of like the Joker.
Yeah, they're all kind of like the Joker. Zed kind of looks like the Joker from the Joker. It's sort of chaotic. So the first thing you see in the film is Zed talking to the camera, explaining what a Z-band is, and it delivers a healing pulse of electromagnetic waves that stops me from craving brains. Arr. And it's like a zombie bit at the camera. And then we go straight into the film's first musical number.
Yes!
This is a musical. It's not quite Hamilton levels of musical. Also, I watched Hamilton for the first time. Not a Disney original movie. Very much not Disney original, but I watched Hamilton for the first time. Too many songs. Not really a fan. I didn't understand what the plot...
It's an opera, Wilkie. Of course, it's awesome.
I thought it was a musical. I didn't understand the plot. I thought there was going to be a shootout at some point, and then there wasn't. I did only watch the first half. Anyway. Okay. The first musical number, we are introduced to who Zed is. Zed lives in Zombietown. Zed wants to be on the football team. Yeah, football. And Addison, this girl who is going to be head of... no, not head. She's joining a new school. They're both joining a new school, and Addison wants to be on the cheer team. She wants to do cheerleading. Addison, as it turns out, Addison is different, and we don't like people who are different here in Seabrook, which is why we don't like zombies. Addison has pure white hair naturally. Dye won't stick to it, so she has to wear a wig.
Okay.
So zombies go to school. They are trapped in they're locked in a basement and not allowed to leave. With like one guy who used to be a janitor, and he's their teacher. So some of them sneak out. Someone pulls the zombie alarm because there's zombies alarms around the school, and Zed is like, what the hell? There's an alarm, and sees zombie safe room, and he's like, oh, sick, a safe room for zombies. And he runs in there, and Addison's like, oh man, a room where I can be safe from the zombies. And she runs in there, and then the door gets slammed shut and locked, and so they're both in there. The lights are all like red, like panic mode. I'm not going to recap the entire film, but this is really funny. So neither of them can tell who the other is. Like, she can't tell he's a zombie, because the lighting doesn't show up the color of his like skin or his hair.
Yeah.
And they have like a really cool heart to heart. Like, hey, is it like it's my first day? Oh, it's my first day too. I want to be on the football team. Oh, well, I want to be a cheerleader. Well, you look really tall. I bet you could be a really great footballer. And it's like, yeah, well, I bet you're great at cheerleading. You shouldn't doubt yourself. And the lights come on. She sees he's a zombie and she punches him in the fucking face.
Yeah.
It's a wild film. Okay, wild.
I'm confused though, because I thought the zombies were now good. So why is there still a zombie alarm, and why aren't they just integrated?
Because everyone's still racist, right?
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. So everyone is still prejudiced against zombies.
Is there a B plot?
Real good.
Is there, or not a B plot, or maybe an A plot where the zombie band comes off at one point and the zombies
that's
go
the
back
plot.
to being zombies
That's
again?
the plot. So yeah, the main conceit of the film is that Zed has to hack into his Z band to get zombie power to be good at football, and he like wins all the football games for everyone for the school. I don't want to spoil the whole thing because I've also got more to talk about. So
okay,
here's the thing. Zombies, it's actually surprisingly good. Here's the thing. It's terrible. It's good. Zombies 2 is good. Zombies is good, right?
There's a Zombies 2, Wilkie.
There's a Zombies 2.
Okay, Wilkie. Okay, Zombies is good. Let's go on to Zombies 2. I want to know more about this.
Here, Zombies 2, right? This year. Zombies 2 came out this year. Romance, coming of age, fantasy, musical. Zed and Addison continue to steer Seabrook High toward unity. Yeah, we got like a human-zombie relationship. But the arrival of a group of mysterious werewolves shakes things up and creates a rift between Zed and Addison. Turns out, Addison's white hair means she's the great alpha. She's the queen of all werewolves.
But wait, okay, so was she a werewolf the whole time in the first one? Was that ever addressed?
No, because the werewolves are dying because Seabrook Power Plant was built on top of the Moonstone, which gives werewolves their power. And now that it's exploded, all the werewolves are like, oh man, I'm so weak, I can't be a werewolf anymore. And she hasn't been able to transform because there's no power.
That's really weird that they set up something, because her having white hair that won't change is obviously like an interesting thing. It's like, I wonder if this is going to get explained. And the film goes, nah, we'll do it next time.
Well, no. Okay, here's the thing. This isn't a spoiler, right? In Zombies 2, she's wearing her white hair out because she reveals her white hair like, hey, being different's okay. And then she gets, like, stuff gets thrown at her. It's quite funny. It's like this big, like, she has a whole song about how being different's okay and like, I'm coming out as having white hair. And then someone like chucks something at her. It's like, okay, I guess that didn't work. At the end of the film, we see Addison sleeping peacefully in her bed, and out the window, a comet, a meteorite, glowing blue, through the sky, lands in the forest behind her. Her hair, glows blue. What? Turns out she's not a werewolf, right? Anyway.
What?
Here's the thing. Zombies and Zombies 2, not even like the films I necessarily wanted to get to. I just wanted to like get them out of the way because they are wild. Okay, remember how last week we talked about how the Christmas Prince is bad because it's bad, right? Zombies 2, on a technical level, probably not much better, but it's so zany and weird, and like they actually stick to such a consistent aesthetic, and like the message is just so like they're punching you in the face with a glove that says like being different is okay, and it's actually like pretty good. Right, so both Zombies films get goods, right? Because they're so zany. Also, like a decent proportion of like diverse casting, right?
Okay,
like they do okay. Okay, the next film I would like to talk about is a film called How to Build a Better Boy.
Okay, that sounds like they want to replace us, Wilkie.
Well, they
specifically you and me.
Yeah. So, How to Build a Better Boy. May and Gabby, two best friends, right? They're friends. May makes up a boyfriend to impress the school bully, and the school bully's like, maybe you are cool. Joking, you made him up. And so they hack into May's dad's gaming company, which is a front for like a paramilitary robotics lab. They feed in all the personality traits of the ideal boyfriend, and then they plug them into like a state-of-the-art military android. That's the plot of the film, basically. But here's the thing.
Sounds like Astro Boy. Sounds like a rom-com Astro Boy.
Here's the thing, though. May and Gabby should have ended up together.
Are they sisters or are they friends?
They're friends. Best friends.
Okay,
They're best
I
friends.
thought for a second you said they were...
No, they're best friends.
I thought you said they were sisters. Okay, that's good. Because I thought you said their dad's thing.
No, May's dad.
May's dad, okay.
Not Gabby has a different dad.
Okay.
So the whole plot of the film is that May wants the perfect homecoming dance kiss, right? And the robot is like, I must complete my directive kiss or something. But like, I was so sure, right? I was like, you know what, Disney? I'm going to put my faith in you. This film came out in 2014, so probably not. But I'm going to put my faith in you, right? Perfect kiss. The robot's going to be like, I have a brain the size of a planet, and like point at Gabby and be like, you two are meant to be together, or something like that. Because like they proper are. Like they share. Gabby gets so clearly so jealous. Like when May hangs out with her cool new robot boyfriend, and like it's and she's like, huh, man, and so they should have been lesbians, right? They should have been lesbians. How to Build a Better Boy. I'm gonna give it a bad good, right? Because it's still kind of zany and stupid and funny, but they missed the trick there. Now we get to the real meat of this story.
Are you sure the real meat wasn't zombies?
The real meat was zombies, right? Zombies is a good franchise. I cannot wait for the threequel, right? Here's the thing. Here's what I really want to talk about. I want to talk about Avalon High, the 2010 coming of age fantasy film Avalon High.
I feel like I've heard of Avalon High. Might have even seen it. Run me through it again.
I'm going to read you the. I didn't read the thing for How to Build a Better Boy, but that's fine. Allie Pennington is ecstatic to find out she is staying at Avalon High until she graduates. Her parents move around a lot, but she's going to be one school until she graduates. But while researching King Arthur's legacy, she begins to believe some people at the school may have medieval blood in them. We all do, pal. That's how genealogy works. The deeper Allie searches, the more convinced she is that her school is contemporary Camelot. It's up to her to solve the mystery before notorious traitor Mordred wins again. So, the plot is, various people at her school are people from King Arthur's court and or Mordred, right? We're led to believe that a guy called Will Wagner is King Arthur. He's brilliant. He's captain of the football team. He does loads of charitable stuff. He's really sweet and kind. He must be King Arthur, right? There is a girl called Jen, and she's dating a guy called Lance secretly behind Will's back, right? Like how Guinevere and Lancelot secretly dated behind King Arthur's back, and it like ruined his day, and then he got killed by Mordred or something, right? Here's the thing. Allie Pennington is the main character of this film. Does that remind you of a name, perhaps? Arthur Pendragon. She is Arthur.
Sounds about right.
She's the reincarnation of Arthur.
About right.
She's the reincarnation of Arthur. But she ends up with Will! At the end of the film, she ends up with Will! Which is bullshit!
Okay.
She should have ended up with fucking Guinevere, like King Arthur does!
But Guinevere was with Lancelot.
Well, no, but then she wasn't again. Right? But that's not how the actual story goes. Because for the entire film, they are like, we're following the story of King Arthur and his knights. Right? That's the story. The story is, it's King Arthur and his knights, but it's in a high school. Except they change, like, the big bit just so they avoid having lesbians.
But it came out in 2010.
Well, I know, but that's no excuse.
I'm not saying it's an excuse, but I feel like you were expecting a lot of this.
I was expecting a lot, but it would have been so cool. Hambo, I was possessed by the spirit of King Arthur there for a second. I got a bit loud. I got a bit shouty. Hamish, we've got to move on to our group topic. Avalon High gets a good bad, right? They get worse as we go along. Zombies is a top tier franchise, right? And I will be reviewing Zombies 3 when it inevitably comes out in about 2022.
Okay, about 2022.
Yeah,
maybe 2021, maybe 2022.
Well, because it was 2018, then 2020, maybe 2023.
Oh, okay, 2022.
Stuff gets delayed by COVID. But yeah, right. Whew, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Wilkie,
I was listening to you. I'm glad that you've calmed down. I'm glad. I thought you were fine though. You know, it's good to get heated. The podcast was fun. I was trying to work out the guy that played Will in your King Avalon
Will Wagner.
High. He was. I was working that all out. But so, Wilkie, you gave me a great gift this week of letting me go first, even though it's not meant to be my chance, because you set me up so well. And you've talked about Disney Plus. Maybe you want to give somebody a subscription to that as a gift. I've talked about Lego, and I suggested it'd be a great present to give to people, because yes, this week we're going to be talking about presents, because obviously we're coming up to Christmas. We're building up that Christmas hype, and we want to talk to you about the idea of giving Christmas time.
hype week 2. Wow,
Week
whoa,
2.
whoa. Jinka, 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 jinka.
So,
With the Christmas bells.
presents, there's so much to talk about with presents because, we're not going to talk about specific presents that you can get, or we might talk about our favourite ones of Christmases past. But, presents are so much fun because I feel like when you're younger, presents are a lot more about, because you don't have any disposable income, presents are a lot more about getting presents because, 8-year-old Hamish, you can't really give any presents. The most that 8-year-old Hamish can do is maybe write some Sharpie on a piece of paper. That's the most that he can really accomplish. I can't go out. I can't just go to Waterstones on my own and get my dad a book. Whereas 18-year-old Hamish was able to do that. Just hop into town in my car or walk down when I was living in Leamington or at uni and can go and get things for myself. And I feel like sort of in that way I have more from me. Obviously, I always love getting presents and it's still lovely to open something on Christmas Day, but also I found over time I almost prefer getting to give presents to other people and try and think about the art of what I'm going to get them. So Wilkie, what's your experience of having to give people gifts? Do you enjoy it or do you find it stressful?
I find it kind of stressful because I think something that people should learn to do more is say, what do you want? Like earlier this year, it was my girlfriend's birthday, and I was like, what do you want for your birthday? Because I could get you like flowers and chocolate and whatever, but I want to get you something useful. Like, do you need a new calculator for your chemistry degree? Do you need like some flasks? I don't know. Do you need like or something? Do you like some wool for your crocheting? And we couldn't really think of anything that is like that was going to be like a really nice present. So like, okay, I'll we'll have a nice hangout and I'll we'll spend time together. But like in my old age, I may have become a little bit, as it were, jaded about the whole Christmas thing, because there's. Back when I was a child, I was like, I want physically as much Lego as you can give me. I want a metric ton of chocolate, and then I want to be left alone for a week. These days,
do you have to do with the Lego and chocolate as I please?
Yeah.
Just lock the door, and if you hear any weird noises, leave me be.
Leave me be. These days, I have one, maybe two choice items that I want for Christmas, and even then, that's just because Christmas is an excuse to get the thing. Right? Like, I would like, because we do this and we're thinking of doing more streaming, I would like a nice webcam. But, like, it doesn't have to be Christmas, if no one in my, like, I could get a little bit of money from everyone and buy myself a nice webcam. Or if someone's like, I want to get Wilkie a present this year, I'm like, hey, I'm in the market for a new webcam. If I find one that's reasonably priced, I'll send it to you and then you can buy it for me if you would like to buy me a gift. But yeah, I honestly I appreciate presents. I feel like I'm coming off a bit of a Scrooge here. If you buy me something, housemate Sophie got me some hot sauce. I'm gonna go to town on that hot sauce. I wouldn't have thought of asking for hot sauce. I won't lie, but I'm going to use and appreciate that hot sauce. Damn it! We got Sophie got for our house a chocolate fondue machine. We're using that this very night. We shall be having chocolate fondue, and probably shall many occasions in the future. Those are they're nice. They're nice things. Nice things to receive. But when it comes to like Christmas presents, I think at this age, if someone wants to go out their way to ask for something specific, if someone has a wish list, I'll get them something off the wish list. But I am so bad at buying presents. Because I used to think I was good at... I've monologued for a while. I used to think I was good at buying presents because I was small and people thought it was cute if I got them a present. Like, I remember where I live in Brighton, they do this thing called open houses where artists can fill their house with art and then open up the house and people go around, ooh, art, and look at the art. There was a pair of very small little birds, little ceramic birds with little red beaks. And I was like, those are cute. And it's two of them, just like my parents. There's two of them as well. And I guess they love each other. Who knows? I'm like 8 at this point. And so I was like, hey, Dad, can I have £20, and also can you drive me to the open house we went to the other day? And he's like, sure thing, kiddo. And he drives me down there, and I get back in the car with a little paper bag, and he's like, going home, and pretends that it never happened. Like a good dad. And then he opens them on... I wrap them up individually. They open them on Christmas. They're like, whoa, where'd you get these? Dad fully knew what was happening. They've told me since then that they're like, oh, we had no idea. It's such a bullshit. Right? I'm getting heated again. You knew what I was doing. But it was sweet because I was 8 or something. And I got you 2 little ceramic birds. Anyway. These days... I have no idea what to get someone that is like heartfelt, right? Maybe my heart has turned to stone, but like,
oh no.
As an adult, I've started to appreciate like useful presents. Like if you need something useful, I will buy it for you, or I will contribute to you buying it for yourself if I have the spare cash. This is a whole essay. I should have like planned some talking points, but yeah.
That's okay. Well, Wilkie, this is the podcast. It is meant to be an audio essay, as it were, because it's really interesting hearing you talk about that kind of stuff. Because I go almost entirely the opposite way with presents. If I want something for my own uses, I'll just get it for myself. And maybe there's elements of I've currently got a job, so have some income coming in, unlike you who's still stuck at uni. So there's that as well. But but even when I've had savings from jobs when I was at school, it's just always been more like I need a new mouse, so I'm just gonna sort one out for myself. And I've always seen presents then as this fun thing that someone wouldn't necessarily think to buy for themselves. So something where I think like, oh, this person's gonna like this. Obviously, I've been buying Izzy a lot of presents recently. I can't really talk about them because she listens to this show, and I don't want to spoil her Christmas, which will be like a couple of weeks away. So maybe I'll have to talk about those kinds of things in the future. But it's been a lot of fun trying to work it out, and I get that kind of satisfaction of trying to really think about what would somebody like and make it meaningful beyond just here's some chocolates and flowers. I think you're right. It's not fun to get something that's super generic. I think either get them something that is useful or get them something that feels tailored to them, even if it's not super useful, because then it shows you actually care. Because I feel like if you just were like, I'm trying to think of something, it's like, oh, here's a pillow. It's like, just, anyone would appreciate a pillow, right? You feel like anyone would probably love a decent pillow.
Love a pillow.
But if it's just a generic pillow, then it's like, thanks, I guess. Whereas, if you got, say, Malik's a Bionicle pillow, he'd go mental because that guy loves Bionicle, and it shows that you've thought about it for more than just a second, and you've got them something. For example, we did Secret Santa at Izzy's with Izzy's housemates back at uni before everyone had to go away because everyone was sent home for the end of term. And I got one of Izzy's... I was involved in it as well, and I got one of Izzy's flatmates a Lego Bulbasaur. And it's actually Dan. He's been on the show, I realise now. So people know who Dan is. I got him a Lego Bulbasaur because I'd seen before he'd been given some Bulbasaur thing by his girlfriend. I was like, oh, I know he likes Pokemon. I know he likes Lego. I say Lego, it's off-brand Lego, but it's a Bulbasaur, and it looked really cool, and I got him that, and I hope he liked it. He seemed to like it. Also, Secret Santa, I know it's meant to be secret. He worked out it was from Izzy or I, because there was a package delivered by Amazon. Dan lives right by the front door of their house, so he picked it up, and he could tell it was from Izzy, and he just it jiggled, it shook slightly when he was holding it, and he could tell it was Lego. And it's like, oh, okay, and he'd asked for Lego on his wish list, which is really funny because Secret Santas are really fun to do. I feel like people don't often do them. I don't know why some people have talked about how they don't often do them, but they're awesome when you've got a younger group of friends. You all don't have a lot of disposable income. It means that each of you can get one thing for a person that feels very useful or good for that guy. And what was I going with this?
I'm a fan of Secret Santa.
There are sites that do Secret Santa stuff, but this one was very odd. It had things that were either like £2 or £100. So Dan's wish list was just a single Lego Death Star.
Why didn't you get it?
I would like this because I unfortunately don't have £100 to just throw away on Dan. I wish I did. If I did, Dan, I'd get you that Lego Death Star. I really enjoy gift giving.
I remember when we did Secret Santa for our improv society, I got our friend Alex, and I knew instantly. Yeah, that's the thing, because Some people, I'm like, I don't know what to get you, man. Like, because I don't know what you want. I don't know what you need, because some people just don't, like, some people just get on with stuff, and I never know sort of what would be useful to them. But our friend Alex, she was playing a paladin in our D&D game, and she kept stealing my D8s. Because I had a load of D8s, and she kept stealing them. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy her just a large number of orange, fiery D8s for her paladin. And that wasn't even £5. So I got some cards for her spells so she could see what was happening, like, at a glance. And so for that, I was like, yeah, I know what to get for this person. I know something that they're going to appreciate and use. But I don't know what to get for my parents. Like, I don't know what my parents need. Like, because they're so far away. They're so not distant. They're not distant, but like, you're even now. I'm 21 now, and my parents still seem like they have it all sorted, right? I don't know what my dad wants for Christmas, because my dad doesn't need anything. My dad just gets on with stuff. That's true. I can't see through the veil.
Okay, so ignore the usefulness. My go-to gift for most people, and this is a spoiler maybe if my parents are listening, are books. I always like giving a book for Christmas. You talked about Secret Santa. Last year at Improv, I had one of our friends, Crawford, and I got them a book, which was these. I think it's called like The Horse, the Mole and the Boy or something. And it's basically just a book of illustrations and small phrases and sayings, and it's just very nice, but it felt very them. So I thought, okay, I'll get Crawford that. And I also got them a little Freddie Mercury Lego figure, because they mentioned they were going to do a Queen-inspired show, and there's a stall at the Leamington Christmas Market that does sort of custom Lego figures. So I've got one of Starlight from the Boys here.
Oh, that's very cool.
And I've got one of Miles Morales, but in his like the Spider-Verse attire.
Oh, very coul. Yeah, very cool.
There's the hoodie and everything. So I got them that, but books I feel like are great, just because you can it can be hard to work it out, but it's like, okay, you've got this thing, hopefully you'll like it, and you can, because there's so many different options. Sometimes you can get them a book that they want to read. If my dad's very interested in some like physics and sciencey stuff when I was learning that more, so I'd get him a book by Brian Cox, because he loves Brian Cox. Other times it might be, you can get like a coffee table book. So maybe you're not going to read this, but I know you like presenting people, having guests over. You can just put this out, and this book can entertain people, and you can also read it yourself.
Little conversation starter. Hey, have you heard of atoms?
Atoms. But there are so many
so
options.
Small. They're so atoms. Here comes Brian Cox. Atoms are so small. No, that's
just Michael Caine.
That's Michael Caine.
To be Brian Cox.
Atoms, Master Wayne, are so small. That's Sean Connery. Atoms. Ah, yes, Miss Moneypenny. Have you heard how small atoms are? They're so small.
You can't see them. Just not there. But books
invisible.
was a great go-to. But I'm sure you can work out what to get your parents for Christmas. Wilkie. You only have a few more weeks left, so you can do it. You just go on to Waterstones, go to your local bookshop, whatever you want to do.
I'll get a book about birds. Mum will like a book about birds. A book about
exactly
walking. Maybe get Mum a book about. She's trying to walk more. I think. I think she's doing or has done recently. Couch to 5K. Maybe do like a book about running shoes.
A book. That's just like a running shoe catalogue.
Yeah.
Here the shoes I could have bought you, but instead I just got you this free catalogue from Nike.
Or like a couple of years ago, I got a book that was it was called like 5 Children Leave the EU. It was like an Enid Blyton 5 Children.
Oh, there are some really good ones. Yes.
Yeah, that was funny. It was funny. Like I don't think anyone's even read it, because that's not the point. It's just sat on our front room table. Do you call it the front room or the living room?
Either. I've heard it called the front room. I've heard it called the living room. I don't know what I'd call it.
In Queensway, we had a living room. It was at the front of the house, but it was still the living room, right? Because everyone else called it a living room. At home, we've got a front room, because that's what we call it. That's weird, right?
Yeah, I guess it depends, because you start to mimic the speech of the people around you, I think.
Yeah.
So, I remember for ages, because Mum, so I normally live in the Midlands. Mum's from the south. of the UK, and she always likes it that I would say, I think, is it the long R, so a long A or whatever, so I would say Bath rather than Bath, and grass rather than grass. But a lot of people in the Midlands prefer the more northern pronunciation of grass and Bath and things like that. And sometimes if I got very in my own head about it, I'd feel like, oh, maybe I'm out of place if I say Bath. So I'm just going to start saying what this person says. So if they say Bath, I will say Bath as well.
You have to try and get them to say one of the words before you. It's like, man, I was thinking about taking a shower later, but I want to relax a bit more. Got any advice? And they're like, oh yeah, use some aloe lotion. And you're like, well, sure, but what about the form factor of my washing experience? How can I alter that? And they're like, what are you talking about? And they leave. And you're still none the wiser.
and now I just seem weird for trying to get them to help me wash myself.
Yeah, they're like, can this man not wash himself?
Come on.
Anyway,
presents. So Wilkie, I feel like you don't like presents then.
No, I do. I like receiving presents. It's just as I've matured, I don't know what I want. Because we'll get messages from like extended family like, what can I get Wilkie this year? Like they'll email my dad, or they'll give him a phone call on our landline, like some sort of old person, and they'll say, what can we get Wilkie this year? Because I'm like one of 3 children in my entire family, both sides. There's only 3 kids, and we're not even children anymore. We're the youngest one of us is he'll be 20 or so, 19. So like, we've got all these, older generational people asking.
They still see you as kids. They still think you're 6.
Yeah. Well,
as far as you're concerned, you've only stopped wearing nappies just recently.
Yeah. Well, you know how I can be with that whole situation. Anyway, they're like, what can I get for Wilkie for Christmas? Because I want to get him something, and I'm like, I don't bloody know what I want. It's not that I don't appreciate whatever people want to send me. It's I don't know what I want. I gotta ask for things. I don't know what I want. I want a nice webcam, and that's about it. And that's one person sorted for a present. Who knows? Hamish, I'm very chaotic today. Maybe it's all the running.
It might be all the running. I don't know. It's been one of those chaotic kind of days. It's getting in the run up to Christmas. We've been running around trying to prepare everything.
I gotta go home tomorrow. I gotta pack all this stuff up once we've stopped recording.
Maybe that's probably why we're chaotic as well. We've been moving around, sorting bits and bobs out. So you probably got the fact you've got to get everything packed on the brain. So it's all right. We've had a good one. So presents. I love receiving presents and I love giving presents, and I think however you want to do it, as long as I feel like if you can give good presents, then it's just good. I enjoy getting to give it. I enjoy getting to get presents. You can't hate being given something for free. And with all of that, I think it's time to close out the show. So thank you so much for listening. We hope you have enjoyed it. We are, you're listening to this on YouTube or on podcast services. So please make sure you give us a like, you give us a subscribe, you give us a follow, whatever it is. Please do that. It really helps our numbers. Make sure you can keep coming back each week. Especially, please share us with your friends. We always ask this. If you think someone would like this, please just say, hey, here's Boy Review. Give it a go. We think you'd enjoy it. And if you didn't enjoy the show, send us to your enemies. If you really hated it, say like, I think you'd love it, and then you can go over and they're gonna waste an hour. But hey, maybe they will enjoy it.
I wouldn't listen to this weird podcast with my worst enemy's ears, but maybe you would. So send it to your worst enemy. Right.
And be sure to check us on Instagram, Boy Review, at Boy Review. You can find lots of things. Tweet at us with the hashtag Boy Review, and throw in any other hashtag you want in there. But the hashtag Boy Review is the key one. We're also going to be streaming on Twitch. We'll let you know on Instagram when we'll be streaming. I feel like, again, with Wilkie going home this week, we might not be able to stream too much. At least maybe not. This episode comes out today on Wednesday.
Try and put something out on Saturday. We'll see. Well, again,
Saturday.
Instagram is the main hub for everything. On our Instagram, you can find our link tree that Hamish has set up, where you can find everywhere on the internet where the podcast is. So check that out.
Easy.
Your favourite app might be there.
Right. And that's really everything we have to say. So we really hope you've enjoyed the show. It's been a good one. and get ready for Christmas. It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Bye.
Why do we listen to the end of the podcast, Master Wayne? So we can hear the secret bit at the end. Bah, humbug.